What up, Wavehealernation? Welcome back to another episode. I'm so excited to be able to finally share this. This was an episode that I initially wanted to do way earlier, but I think it's a perfect time to do it. It is about a year since I finished my yoga teacher training. They just started the brand new session, I think last week. So shout out to Raw Yoga Studios and all the people in the brand new 200-hour yoga teacher training program there. Um, it's been crazy, and I'm so thankful I had this experience. And I think it really just took me a whole year to get grounded and to be able to talk about this and to present it to you in this way, because I feel like I really got the full experience. So we'll talk about my review of the yoga teacher training at Raw Yoga Studios in Irvine, California. And then I'll kind of walk you through my first year as a yoga teacher. I think that will be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to share with you guys. So let me rewind you back to October 2023. Not out of nowhere, but the writing was kind of on the wall. I got released. I got laid off from my job I had been at for the past 6 years. I was a architectural sales representative or specification representative for EB Bradley, which is a hardware and cabinet distributor. Um, and if you're in the industry, that was the distributor for Wilson Art Laminate. I had been there for 6 years, covering most of Southern California, excluding LA. And I loved that job. It was amazing. I loved the people there. And it just came to an end. So that happened, and then shortly after that, my manager, who was managing me for as a non-union actor, she out of the blue just dropped me. No harm, no foul to anybody. She was just no longer representing talent in LA. She was only representing talent in Chicago. So no manager, no job. And basically it was kind of nice because I was so stressed out at that point. I was just ready to move on, I think. And I think that there was a lot of other opportunity out there for me. I just had to go out there and find it. So I really just got to enjoy the holidays. I really took a nice break off. And, during that time, I found myself kept going to yoga class, and I had that initial thought like, hey man, I meditate, I journal, I do yoga. Why don't I become a teacher and get paid for it? Like, that was the initial thought that led me to yoga teacher training. I remembered that my fiance, or my girlfriend at the time, her friend Liz, had invited us to one of her classes at Raw Yoga Studios in Long Beach, and she had went through the yoga teacher training program at Raw Yoga Studios. So I reached out to Liz, who's now like a sister, who is now like a sister to me, and I just started asking her a million questions, and she was very receptive, very open, which she didn't have to be. We had a lot of long talks, and she answered all my questions, and she was just really excited that I was even thinking about doing that program, because she has given so much to that program, and it has done so much for her in her own life, just the practice of yoga. And that was like home for her. She is so well connected to the Raw community. So anyway, if you haven't heard of it, shout out to Raw Yoga Studios. They are a yoga studio out here in Southern California. They are based in Costa Mesa. They also have locations in Long Beach and Newport Beach. And they are the only facility in Orange County in California that has their own training facility outside of their studios, which is in Irvine, close to the airport, John Wayne Airport. So I was thinking about online programs. I was looking at other studios, and as fate would have it, I chose to do the 200-hour yoga teacher certification through Raw Yoga Studios in Irvine. So it's a 3-month long program. It is 12 weeks. It is every weekend, Saturday, I believe, 8 to 6, and then Sunday, 8 to 1, every weekend for 12 weeks. Pretty doable. I think it ran in the neighborhood of somewhere of like $3,000, depending on if you do the early bird or if you wait later. which is pretty on par with most programs. No matter if you do a yoga teacher program or 200-hour program in the United States or any other country, they can run anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. And the beautiful thing about it is that it was all in person. So you're with a community, you're with people every weekend, which is nice. Definitely was doable for me starting a brand new full-time job. So you can still do it on the weekends. Traffic's not bad during that time on the weekends. At the time I was living in Cyprus, closer to Long Beach. So I was driving back and forth to that area, probably about 25-30 minutes, to and from. So anyway, that was kind of the logistics of it. What I loved about the Raw Yoga program is that it exposes you to all kinds of and types of yoga, and then all of the different practices of yoga, from Yin yoga to Kundalini yoga to acro yoga to sound baths and all sorts of things. I loved it. It was an amazing experience. It is vinyasa based. You do come out of there being a certified vinyasa based teacher, and it is Yoga Alliance certified as well, which is nice. Love the instructors. Shout out to Lori. Shout out to everybody who volunteered to help. And huge shout out to Liz, because without Liz, I probably, who knows what could have happened. I could have went somewhere else, or it just probably wouldn't have been the same experience. So that's kind of most of the logistics. The facility itself is really nice. I feel like it's home to me now. And I feel like the Raw Yoga community is still home to me. It always will be, no matter where I go or what I do. So I'm very thankful for that opportunity. Personally, for myself, I'll just walk you through what I felt and what I experienced the whole year. That whole training session. For me, it felt like I love to do personal development things. I love to grow, and I love to challenge myself, and I love to just try to become a better person. And for me, I've just had so many traumatic things happen to me in my life, unfortunately. And just having a safe space to be able to work through all that is a beautiful thing. So I felt like all the events I'd ever done, and I've ever talked about, Enlightened Warrior Camp, and doing the Momentum Education Program, all here in Southern California. I felt like all roads led up to this yoga teacher training. And it was kind of like all those things combined into one. And that was like, I had been searching for some kind of personal development thing, and this was definitely it. So what I love about the program is that it is based on personal development. It is coupled with The Artist Way, and then it's also coupled with a few other books. It's kind of just meant to push you into growing and, taking up space and becoming, based on personal development, making yourself better. It was a very fast, rigorous program. There were some certain things that I wish could have been different. A little bit more practice here, or switch this thing there. But overall, I really enjoyed the program. I think one of the most fun things that I did was acro yoga, or acrobat yoga, with a partner. I had never heard of that. I had never experienced anything like that. And it was just fun to be able to build community and build camaraderie and partnership through that. And then that was probably the funnest thing. My low point, my breakthrough moment in that whole thing happened to me on week 7. It was crown chakra week. I was not expecting that at all. I'll share a little bit of what happened. Liz was actually teaching the class, and I felt horrible because I felt like I wanted to be there for her, support her, and I had this horrible breakthrough where I was just crying and pissed off half of the day. But anyway, we were doing the sequence. We were doing our class, our session, and I just remember putting my hands over my head, and for whatever reason, it triggered the time that I got held at gunpoint. And I noticed it when it happened. I felt it coming on, and I thought I could kind of like, I'm like, all right, it's here. I'm gonna just work through this. I'm gonna keep going through this. And what happened was I just wound up being triggered, and I just sat on my mat and I stopped doing the sequence. Thankfully, this was such a beautiful thing. Liz noticed that I was having trouble. She came to the back of the room. She started just doing the sequence and teaching the class right beside me. Never touched me, never said anything to me. Just I felt in that moment like she spiritually picked me up because I started getting back into the sequence. I started doing the sequence again and I was able to finish. And then I made it to Savasana and I just put the towel over my face and I tried not to be disruptive, but I like cried for like the whole time sitting in Savasana. And it was just all of that emotion, all that trauma, years, I guess, just not, even though I've done a million different things to work with that situation, I guess it was just more left in the tank that needed to come out. And thankfully, her and another peer of mine, hi Lauren, they came over and they checked on me, and I just explained to them what happened. And obviously, they had no idea, but they were very thankful that that happened. So, because that happened, I was just pissed off for the rest of the day. I did not want to be there. I just wanted to leave, and I just wanted to say, screw it. I don't care anymore. I don't even want to finish this program. And thankfully, I just kept hearing a voice in my head just saying, just stay a little bit longer. Just finish out the day. Just you got just a couple more hours. Just stay here and just finish it. And then that was actually, we do what we call like a sacred circle at the end of every weekend. And that was the final sacred circle that we did. And I shared everything that happened with me. And everyone was like, wow, we had no idea that's what you were dealing with. But thank you so much for telling us because we could tell something was wrong. We just didn't know what it was. And I felt like that was a healing moment for me. I had to go through all of that in order to break through. Obviously, when you have a breakthrough, there's always a breakdown first. And it was tough and it was rough and it was messy. And I'm thankful to be able to have that safe space with those people in that community to be able to do that. Another thing that I really love that was fun for me is you go to this very special location as a group together. So I'm not going to ruin that if you do go through the program, but that was extremely healing and spiritual for me. I'm very thankful. Again, I had the opportunity to go to that place with those group of people at that time. It was a huge celebration. And then you have finals. You actually have to get in front of the class and teach an hour-long class. It could be kind of whatever you wanted, but for me, it was a very healing moment for me. It was a moment where I felt like I actually belonged for just a moment. I belonged to a community. I belonged to a group. I was in the place where I needed to be at that particular time in California, teaching yoga with those people. It was a beautiful thing. My now fiance was actually there to share that with me, and then so was one of my yoga teachers that I really enjoy. I wish I still got the chance to work with, but she's, from what I understand, she's not teaching right now. So thank you so much for showing up and being there with me. And then, oh man, the biggest thing and the coolest thing is the people, my family. I got to really just enjoy going through that training with all those people. And I felt like I really did make true connections with each one of the people that were in my community. And I understand that we have lives and, there's age gaps and, people just get busy with life. And we can't always all catch up and just be friends every day. But when I see these people and when I talk to them, it's just a beautiful thing because it feels like no time has passed. And again, it felt like it brought me closer to Liz. I mean, she feels like a sister to me now. I was really worried and intimidated initially by Lori, and now I feel like I've known her my whole life, and she's just like a family member to me now. And I'm just so grateful to be able to have had that experience to learn from that studio with those group of people. So I came out of the program in March on this high of like, wow, what just happened? Where's my life going? What in the world? Like what's next? Like, I was not expecting to be a yoga teacher in my life at all. Like I told people, and I truly believe this, I felt like being a yoga teacher, being involved in yoga, like the practice of yoga, it called me. Like it chose me the same way acting did. I never thought I was going to be a professional actor. It chose me. And I feel like all these things God has placed into my life as resources and tools for me to be able to live life and have these creative opportunities and these resources and, again, tools to be able to work through my emotions, work through my trauma, be able to connect with people on a deeper level, be able to understand and have compassion for others, for myself, and for those around me. So, man, I don't know. It just gives me chills even just like thinking or talking about that. But yeah, so I came out of this program really just head in the clouds, trying. It took me like a good month or 2 months to really just ground myself. I was doing so many practices just to try to bring myself back down to earth. Um, Placing my palms on the ground, putting my feet in the sand, meditation, crying when I needed to, journaling when I needed to, and just really just trying to bring myself back down. And it was so cool because I felt like I had, again, like such a strong start. And I'm so grateful that I just jumped right in, because that's exactly what they tell you coming out of that program is teach as soon as you can, do your community project as soon as you can, and just get out there, put yourself out there, start teaching, because the longer you let it go, you start to lose confidence in yourself. You start to forget things, and you just want that experience of just teaching a room. So, that's another thing I love about that program. Another thing you do is you have to do a community project in order to graduate, meaning that you teach some kind of a free class or free workshop or whatever it may be that you decide to do, for a period of time. It could be a one-off. It could be, for months. It could be whatever you want to do, but you have to teach a free class in order to give back to your community in some way, shape, or form. So I had the amazing opportunity of teaching 3 free workshops back in my actor studio in Orange County. And they went really well. I think each time I had at least, I think like 3 to 5 students each time. And I think at one point there was maybe 8 people in the room or something like that, which is amazing. Never having any kind of experience in providing this opportunity. And I felt like that felt very close to my heart to be able to give back this gift of yoga to my acting community. I felt like it was a missing piece in my acting career, which is why I had that whole side quest in the beginning. It was just an amazing, like, come home type of feeling, like full circle moment, is what I'm trying to say. So I did that. That was the month of April. So graduated at the end of March, went straight into my community project the month of April. And then I started working at UFC Gym teaching yoga. I believe it was the beginning of May, is when I started there. And I started out, always have a special place to me. I started out at UFC Gym Costa Mesa. I was subbing Amber's class, which Amber, another full circle moment. I used to take her classes when she taught at UFC Huntington Beach. And then I followed her once she went, Amber Castillo. I followed her online once she started her own online platform, and I used to take her classes during COVID. So to be able to sub the teacher that I was taking classes from right out of yoga teacher training, like full circle moment. And shout out to Amber. She's an amazing yoga teacher. She's teaches much differently than I do. But I'm so grateful I got to go in there. And I was so nervous, like taking over her class. Like, what a nerve wracking opportunity to be able to teach, the class of the person that you used to take classes from. But thankfully, and like shout out, man, those are some of my favorite students. The people at Costa Mesa UFC Gym were like some of the coolest, down to earth, fun students I've ever had, and still now. And it was cool because I went in there, I did my thing, I just was being myself, and they were always open to whatever that I tried, to whatever I put in front of them. And dude, just even now, like, it fills up my soul, like just talking about and thinking about all that. Some of the best students ever, and I feel like I've made some real connections there, and I'm excited to hopefully get some more classes there this year, in 2025 there. But yeah, those are some of the best students I could have ever asked for, coming straight out of school as a young, no experience teacher. So I still work there to this day. I don't currently have any weekly classes, but I am working on that. So I'm hoping that soon here I can pick up some weekly classes at the UFC Gym. And then I think it was like in the beginning of June, I started working at Yoga 6. I was working at the locations in Cypress and Long Beach. And I calculated it up. I was there like just under 6 months. I think I was there for like a full solid 5 months, maybe just hit 6 months. I was there from June until about, what was it? I think October is when I left, like mid October. That was such an amazing experience. That was truly an honor and a pleasure to be able to teach at a yoga studio. Um, and again, just try things. And it is an experience, and it is a little bit difficult to walk into somebody's class that they have been teaching for years, and to you to be a substitute. And it's a chance. Like, people are either gonna love you or they're gonna hate you. They're gonna like the music that you play or they're not. They're gonna like your sequence you do or you're not. They're gonna like your style or they're not. And that's just kind of how it goes as a teacher. Like, it's not gonna be for everybody, but it's kind of like acting. It's like selection, not rejection, right? Like, some people are just gonna love the way that you teach. Some people are going to love the way that your voice sounds. Some people are going to love the music that you play. Some people are going to appreciate the things that you try and that you do. And some people aren't. It's just not going to be for some people. Some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to be like, well, you're not this person that teaches our class. So no matter who you are, what you do, I'm just not going to like your class. And that's fine. Like, at the end of the day, it's all just opinions. And I get it. Like, I have my favorite teachers that I like to go to their classes because of the way they sound or the way that they teach the class or whatever it is. It's just human nature. It's just what it's going to be. And the faster that you accept that and the faster that you are able to let yourself understand that, the easier your life is going to be. Because you can't make everybody happy. At the end of the day, you just can't. And for me, I learned a lot of that there. It was really cool also just to understand the policies of a studio. Showing up, some studios want different things. With USC Gym, you can show up right on time. You can leave as soon as the class is over, and that's all you got to do. You can do whatever sequence you want to do, as long as it's vinyasa. You can play whatever playlist you want to play. They don't care. Just as long as you're happy, the students are happy, you do what they ask, and that's it. And then you have a studio like Yoga 6, where it's more of a uniform type. There are some set sequences that they do, and then there are some opportunities for you to teach whatever you want to teach. A little bit of a different dynamic there. So they pay a lot more attention to what the students say and, what the feedback is there. And if they don't like it, they're going to let you know, and you got to adjust it. But also, too, there was some opportunities to teach workshops there. And although I never got the opportunity to teach a workshop there, it just didn't work out. I mean, there's still that. And then also, too, like, it's a little bit different because at the end of the day, the studio is going to do what's best for the studio. That's no matter where you go, what it is, and that's just what it's going to do. So if you have an agenda or if you have thoughts and ideas, if that does not align with the studio, then probably won't happen. Just being honest. So realize that, and then just know that each studio is going to have its own vibe, its own personality. And for me, myself, I loved being there. It was such an amazing feeling. And I was subbing a lot, especially during the summer. I think the most I subbed was like 3 or 4 classes in one day. And it was amazing. It was great. Definitely took a lot of my energy, which that was something to learn. And it was very different learning for me to teach in heat, because I'm a type of person, I get hot really easily. So teaching at UFC Gym, we don't have heated classes. At a studio, we did. So that was another thing just to think about, and that was different for me. And you just kind of start to come into your own. You kind of start to learn things that work for you and what don't. Are you good at mirroring? Do you walk around the room? Are you the type of teacher that does adjustments or no hands-on adjustments? What type of playlist do you like? What do your students like? What type of yoga do you like to teach? I know for me, I never thought about teaching a strength or some, when I say strength, like some kind of yoga class that involves weights, and it was more or less almost like a hit class on a yoga mat in a heated room. Um, Never thought I would be teaching that. I actually enjoyed it more than what I thought I would. Um, but initially, I just wanted to be a yin yoga teacher and like a restorative yoga teacher, like slow, relaxing yoga. I never thought I'd be teaching hot yoga, which is a set sequence, or really even vinyasa. Honestly, I never really wanted to do that, but I enjoyed it and I like it. Um, it is very dynamic, it is difficult, but it's also very rewarding and exciting. So just figuring all that stuff out. And the thing that did it for me is I do have a full time job at USG Ceilings, like I mentioned. I do teach at UFC Gym as well. So it kind of just became a lot for me. And I feel like it got to a point where I just felt like I had served my time there. And I felt like my voice was no longer needed there. I felt like it was just time for me to move on. I was trying to stretch it out, but it just really, again, it just felt like I had served my time there. So I voluntarily left. I am extremely thankful for that opportunity. Um, Loved the people there, loved, still keep in touch with a lot of them, and just loved the fact that I got to cross paths with them, and even all of my students too. Even the students that I feel like I wasn't connecting with, even the students that feeling like they didn't necessarily enjoy my style of teaching. I'm still grateful for every moment, and for all the students that came up to me and said they loved my class and they loved my playlist and the way I teach and everything. I'm grateful for all of it because it was all an amazing experience. And it's all necessary in just following the path and the journey and really just taking your ego out of it. And again, just realizing like, hey, it's just not for what you do is just not for some people, and that's okay. Um, and you need to continue to put yourself out there because it will connect with a lot of people and it will help a lot of people as well. And if you get discouraged because one or two people said, hey, it's not for me, all those other people could be missing out on their blessing. So I just add another thing that I noticed too. So something that was really cool, and I think it kind of just happened. It was meant to happen this way. Is so I really wanted to do a Halloween yoga workshop when I was at Yoga Six. For multiple reasons, it just didn't work out, and I'm kind of glad it didn't because one of my good friends and guest of the show, Kat Tanchunko, she reached out to me and was like, hey, did you get to do your yoga workshop? And I said, no, I don't think it's going to work out. She said, well, why don't you come do it with me? She was doing a grief workshop in LA, and she was like, why don't you partner with me and you provide a Halloween yoga session? So last year, I had my first successful workshop with Halloween yoga, with a grief workshop with one of my really good friends. I made some new friends at that particular, um, what I would consider a successful workshop. It was my first workshop. It was our first workshop. We got paid. We basically about broke even, which was nice. And we just had a good, fun time doing it. And I discovered that I personally almost enjoy the workshop style of teaching better. You get more of like a 90-minute to 2 hour. There's opportunity to hang out with your students or your class afterwards, make a deeper connection. You kind of have, since you have more time, you can kind of slow things down a little bit, and kind of go deeper into whatever it is that you're talking about or focusing on. And then there's opportunities I feel like to journal and to share where you don't really have time to do that in a 1 hour studio class because people are coming in for the type of yoga that they signed up for. They want to get their workout in and then they want to leave because they have a life, right? They have to go pick up their kids or they have to go to work or whatever else it may be. But I feel like with the workshop, they paid to be there. They know that we're here for a little bit longer. And then if there's time to hang out after, hey, we can do that. So I just realized that I want to do more workshops and I want to make it more fun. I know like there's some sip and stretch type things where you can work on handstands or whatever it is for an hour and then you can grab a beer and a slice of pizza with everybody afterwards. And to me, that's fun. I enjoy that. And then there's, breath work workshops. There's meditation workshops. There's sound bath, and more of the things that just I was really interested in during yoga teacher training to like really relax. And I just love breath work because it directly affects your nervous system. And for myself and like a lot of people I know with higher anxiety, it's a great way to be able to cope with that stress, and a good tool and a resource to be able to allow yourself to naturally relax, where you're not taking any substances, you're not taking any vitamins, you're not putting anything in or out. It's just your natural pattern of or behavior of life to breathe. And that can affect how you feel and what you think about yourself, and help heal you in a sense. So I just love all those things. And I just really enjoy the style of workshop teaching. So I'm hoping that there can be a lot more of that this year. And then also, too, it works better for my schedule because doing a weekly class, that can kind of become a lot, especially with a full-time job. And when I do something, I like to fully devote myself to it. So having these one-off workshops or having them, once a quarter or once a month or whatever it is a little bit more sustainable. And I get to go deeper into whatever I'm focusing on as well. So I definitely want to do more of those. I want to collaborate more with people. I think it's fun to put together an idea with people and then have it all come together. It's a really beautiful thing because I feel like that's such a hard thing to do, right? Event plan, have people from all different walks of life and different schedules and agendas come together for that moment in time, learn, grow together, and then continue to go out here and apply it. So I just think that's beautiful. But I do enjoy the weekly class as well. I just feel like it needs to be in a place where I feel like my voice matters, and I feel like where I feel at home, and I feel like my students are receptive to me, so that it needs to be good, right? It needs to be good for everybody, not just myself, but mostly for my students. I need to feel like they're getting something out of it, and that they're at least wanting to be there. If I want people to show up, and I want people to feel good. I don't want them to feel like they have to come to my class or they need to do anything, right? I just want them to feel like they're enough for themselves. So that has been my experience of 200-hour yoga teacher training at Raw Yoga Studios in Irvine, California, and then my first year as a professional yoga teacher. And when I say professional, I mean getting paid to do it. It's been one heck of a road, one heck of a journey. I feel like it really is just getting started. I'm excited to take it to the next level too and start to build it out online. Have a yoga YouTube channel, have yoga social media, be able to connect with more people online, do more online coaching and appointments and one-on-ones and meditation sessions and all those fun things. I eventually would love to get into drumming. I would love to get into breath work, get into more of sound baths, and start to be able to provide that for others. And I don't know, I just love all those things. They make me relaxed and they make me excited, and being able to share that with people. So thank you guys so much. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you are thinking about a program, I highly recommend Raw Yoga Studios. If you just have questions or you want to talk about, hey, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm thinking of, please reach out. I love to answer any questions that you have or just talk to you about it. I always tell people, if you are even thinking about doing yoga teacher training, then it's for you. Go do it. And I feel like you will really love it. Even if it's extremely uncomfortable, even if it gets you outside of your comfort zone, if you're thinking about it and it's calling you, then it's for you. Go do it. So I hope this has been fun for you like it has for me. I feel very filled up and just being able to share this with you, and I hope that it was helpful, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will catch you on the next episode.